Welcome to Brookline Hub in Depth. I'm your host, Harvey Bravman, and I'm here with Kathryn DiMaria of Voices Boston. Katie, I hope I said your last name correct.
You did. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the show. I'm really excited. I've spent the last half hour working at my desk listening to Voices Boston, and it's been the best half hour of the week so far.
Well, thank you. We're so grateful that you were able to record our concert so that we can have more people hear the beautiful work of our singers, especially this year when they were rehearsing remotely and masked and in small groups. It's really wonderful to see what can happen when they're finally able to safely come together.
Just recently, Voices Boston had a concert at Lars Anderson, and we recorded it, and we're going to show it to you as part of this show. Really excited to do that. Give me the 60-second, 2-minute elevator pitch on Voices Boston. What is it? When did it start?
Yeah. Voices Boston, formerly Powell's Children's Chorus, was founded in Brookline 31 years ago. We were founded when the Brookline public school system reduced the music education program in schools, and it was founded as an answer to that. In the last 30 years, Voices Boston has expanded to include not only singers in Brookline, but the greater Boston area. We have 5 choirs. We start at age 5 with our prep ensemble, and our students go all the way up through the program through, in this concert, prep, circle, Gershwin, Copeland, and Bernstein ensembles. But this upcoming year, we'll actually be premiering our new ensemble names, which will be our prep ensemble, our melody ensemble, our harmony ensemble, and our premier touring group, which will be primarily middle school singers, will be Voices Boston Children's Choir. And we're so excited to be doing that work here in Brookline. Voices Boston is an interesting program because not only do we do traditional choral singing, but we have a dedication to also teaching our singers acting and movement along with our curriculum. So at the end of every year, we do a fully staged children's opera/musical. And we also work with a lot of professional arts organizations in the greater Boston area. So we have a collaborative partnership with the Boston Lyric Opera and offer audition workshops for middle schoolers and high schoolers, as well as get to go bring our singers to see their productions. And then we have been the children's choir for, most recently this year, White Snake Opera's production of Alice in the Pandemic, which was an opera that was entirely produced remotely online, which was pretty amazing. And that production is actually being archived by the Library of Congress as a piece of art to represent the last year. We've also worked with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, Boston Youth Symphony Orchestra, Boston Symphony Orchestra, and many other groups in the area. So that's a little bit about the history of Voices Boston, and we're really excited for things to hopefully be in a place where we can have more children singing and more opportunities like this for the children of Brookline.
You and I are from a singing perspective, are the exact opposite. You're a trained operatic soprano. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
And I'm someone who needed to ask you if I said that correctly.
So, that's fine. You know what? In Voices Boston, I wear a lot of hats. I'm actually the executive director. So my background is in classical performance, but I also have a degree in arts administration. So I kind of am on both sides of the table wearing a lot of hats within the organization that is Voices Boston.
In that we have a lot in common. I produce our videos and I beg for our money.
Yeah. One of the wonderful things about Voices Boston as well is that throughout our 30-year history, we have prioritized ensuring a music education for all singers, regardless of financial circumstances. So as this year, of course, approaches, this might be my moment to say, if you're listening and you'd like to support arts education here in Brookline, go to voicesboston.org. But we are so proud to be able to provide the scholarships that we do. And we, I said, pride ourselves on turning no singer away if finances are a barrier. We want all children who want to sing to be able to sing with us.
And to echo what you're just saying, I actually looked at the tuitions and they are so reasonable um, that it's really, if it's something that you could afford to do, your money couldn't be better spent. And if you can, and if that's a barrier, that's why our us nonprofits exist, because we're trying to do what's right for the community and create an equal playing field for all young people. And so I applaud you for doing that and for being so open to it when it's a lot to offer. It's the funding isn't readily available. If you don't have a student who is of the age and you just want to maybe sponsor one or something, a young person on your street and you think, boy, what a great gift to give to a young person. We have to teach our young people some pretty hard facts sometimes and lessons, and to be able to spend some time teaching the joy of singing and expressing yourself, boy, it's really cool. Tell me about some of the things that you have coming up for Voices Boston that maybe people can listen to, participate in, watch, show up for.
So we, as I said, we're launching our ensembles going by their new names, and our regular programming this year includes our Sounds of This Season concert, which will be happening December 18th, our Sounds of Spring concert, which I believe is April 9th. It's that second weekend on the Saturday. And then our operas / musicals are always at the end of the year, the first weekend in June. So that's our regular Voices Boston programming, but we're always performing in the community. We've performed at First Light in Brookline for many, many years. We look forward to having that as an opportunity. In October, we usually do open rehearsals for our young singers, especially to practice performing. Sometimes when you're 5 or 6 years old, this is the first time you're getting up on stage. So we try to also have a lot of in-house opportunities for our singers to perform for families in a way that's low pressure, because for adults, for everybody, sometimes getting up in front of a room of people can be a little bit scary. We also, our former artistic director, Steve Lipsett, also runs the Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms Society Orchestra, and we've done a holiday concert with them for many, many years. So we're excited to hopefully have that back on the schedule. But right now, as everybody's coming back, we are kind of waiting to see what happens with our kind of bigger collaborative programming. BSO is just at Tanglewood right now, and they don't have any singers as part of their season. We're really excited that Boston Lyric Opera will be doing productions next year, but we're kind of waiting a little bit to see what's going to happen. But we can guarantee that our singers will have plenty of performing opportunities here in the community of Brookline, and also look forward to seeing what happens so we can book more performances for them and provide as many opportunities to perform as we can.
Our co-producer of this show, Daniel Myers, is at Tanglewood now. She works for Brookline Hub and she works for the BSO. Tell me about the last year and a half. I mean, I know it's a subject that people may feel they're getting a little tired of, but it was not easy to be anyone the last 18 months. It really wasn't easy to be a nonprofit. You've used the word ensemble. Having an ensemble when you're during the contagion epidemic had to have been really, really challenging. How did you navigate the pandemic from the point of view of teaching, staying relevant with the community, things like that?
Well, Voices Boston is very lucky to have an incredible artistic director, Dan Ryan, who has been on the front lines of being innovative so that we could ensure that our programming provided the best opportunities for our singers possible and provided stability for our singers, an emotional outlet, a way that they can still feel connected even from their houses all over. So it's been a profoundly difficult but inspiring year. We got very comfortable with trying new things, building the ship while you're flying it. A lot of that, and a lot of that was possible because of the support of our community. The Brookline Community Foundation, which is where I'm sitting now, Voices Boston has had an office there for a long time, and we were able to clear out everything, put it in our board members' basements, and convert that space into a virtual rehearsal space. We put plastic up on one side, and we were able to have a whole microphone set up so that our artistic director was on one side of a barrier with ventilation, and then we could have one singer per rehearsal come in safely, and go to the other side of the room. They each had separate doors to rehearse from that side. So we were really proud that at a time when people weren't really able to go anywhere, we could provide a safe opportunity for our singers to sing, and then they would all be zoomed in with everybody in their homes collaboratively into the rehearsal. So that was an amazing feat of technology that Dan Ryan, we owe that all to him and the Brookline Community Foundation for allowing that to be possible. During that time, we were a part of Whitesnake Opera's production of Alice in the Pandemic, which we were able to use some really amazing technological tools, one of them being this platform called Soundtrap, which allowed all of our singers to be able to record into their computer, and then all of the different files would come up as a group file, and they can listen to all the other people singing from wherever they are. So you can listen to your part, sing along with it, and then it all gets put together. And that's how we were able to compile these files of all of our singers sounding like a choir together, but being recorded from all over. And we were able to use that same technology for our virtual winter concert. We also made, some beautiful video production stuff, which again, video production, not usually in the choir conductor job description, but Dan was incredible at figuring out all of these different new technologies. From there, we decided to put on our very own, actually 2 virtual musicals with our ensembles, which took place this winter. One of them was Raining Cats and Dogs by local composer Steve Bergman. And that production was about acceptance, and about being able to come together and accept each other exactly as we all are. It tells the story of Chow Chow, which is a dog who feels like they might be a cat on the inside. It plays with the whole idea of, oh, I have a dog, but my dog thinks it's a cat, or I have a cat, my cat acts like a dog. And our singers learned choreography virtually from their homes, all of the songs. We have a full cast album they recorded virtually from that production. And I could not be prouder of our singers putting that production on. And then we also put on a second production called Going Buggy, which was with our younger ensembles. If I'm telling you, if you have 15 minutes and want to have like the cutest 15 minutes of your life, head to our YouTube channel and watch Going Buggy. It's about bugs advocating for their rights. And we had amazing conversation with our kindergarten through fourth graders on Congress people and the importance of speaking up for things that you believe in. And we even had local representatives that appear in that show that played the representatives at the end. So we were able to interact with our representatives, get them involved. And that was an amazing opportunity for all of our singers as well. And then this year, we were able to finally return after our April break to First Parish in Brookline, where we had our first concert over 30 years ago now. And we were able to set up cohorts. They have a beautiful, beautiful space there where we were able to safely distance and again have some of our singers in person if they'd like, some of them virtual, all masked. And that's the model that we had to prep for our outdoor Lars Anderson concert. That being said, as you said, this has been a difficult year in terms of ensuring these opportunities. So along the way, I've been grant writing and I've been trying to impress on everybody the importance of these music education opportunities for our singers who said that this was their lifeline. And this is where they felt like they could be themselves. This is where they felt like they got the support that they needed. And we're so grateful for all of our donors for making that possible. If it wasn't for the community support, the federal support, individual donors, there is no way that Voices Boston would still be able to be here after this year. So we are so grateful for the support of being in Massachusetts, for the programs that were put together to help support small organizations like ours, and a community that believes that arts education matters. And you know, if you would like to continue to ensure that programming, as I said, voicesboston.org is where you'll find information on how to continue to support us.
Yes, and also want to echo and sort of you mentioned Brookline Community Foundation, our nonprofit, also 11 years of youth awards, and Brookline Community Foundation really stepped up when we had to do the whole thing virtually, which added a lot more time to everything, and a lot of the work that we did, I think you might have done too, was to let people know that no, things aren't canceled.
Yeah, we're
They're
still
going
here.
to be done differently.
Yeah. And as you said, virtually, it's when we had the concert outdoors, it was amazing to feel like our singers opened their mouth to sing and the audience immediately heard them, and not having all of the barriers of am I on mute and internet lag and all these things. It's, you know, it's been a year where everything has just been harder. And yeah, the people that stepped up, things took twice as long, is really what made all of the things I listed before that we were able to accomplish during the last year and a half possible.
And you also mentioned that Voices Boston began 31 years ago to fill a need that existed in the community. It's amazing how these nonprofits they do their best to make sure that all of the students in Brookline and the Boston area learn on an equal playing field, and also that important things like art and expression. This is as important as math and science and reading and writing, and we're all human beings, and young people need to learn about the human experience as well as the intellectual experience, and it's all part of the same thing. So thank you thank you for doing that, and for all the nonprofits out there that are filling needs that they're not extras. They're not things that we really don't need, but it's fun to have.
Yeah.
Important. And thank you. Tell me a little about your challenges now. We're hopefully getting out of the pandemic. There's a new Delta variant, but at some point we're going to conquer this. Where are you now? What what can we do, and what can the community do, and what can the school system and the government do?
Yeah.
Local
Um,
government.
well, I appreciated everything you said about the importance of arts education. We always say we're looking for things to the messaging from STEM to STEAM, adding the arts as the A, because those interpersonal skills, the opportunity for leadership, the discipline that comes with a music education are so important no matter what career field that you go into. And we have 30 years of alumni doing incredible things in and outside of the arts, and they all say that their experience in Voices Boston helped give them those leadership skills, that confidence, that discipline that can be applied to no matter what field that you're studying. So that's why we think that music education is important and not extra, because those skills are essential. Right now, we are currently enrolling for our 2021-2022 season, which it's just so exciting to even say that after such a difficult year and a half. So you can share the word about Voices Boston. We've accomplished a lot of things internally over the last year and a half, including a brand new designed website. And we're going to be looking out for posters and lawn signs all over the community. So if you know a young person that likes to sing, we're enrolling for next year. We have options for fall session as well as full year. So there's different options available if you'd like to try it out. And our programming starts at kindergarten and goes through the 8th grade. For our younger singers, you can just register right away. That's the singers for prep, melody, and harmony. For Voices Boston Children's Choir, there's a placement audition, but at no point are we ever trying to exclude any singers from participating in our program. We're just trying to find the best place for them to be so that they feel comfortable, and we can meet them, because as we said, singing in front of new people, talking in front of new people is scary. So we really are always trying to build that personal connection. In terms of kind of a macro level of thinking, just remembering that just because the things may be hopefully looking up doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a need for the arts. In fact, a lot of arts organizations have been very reliant on different federal resources, that now that those programs are going to be wrapping up, being able to come back is so important. During the pandemic, our enrollment last year is about half of what it usually is. We are very thrilled to have a robust start of registration for this upcoming year. And we're going to be in the schools trying to connect with music teachers, trying to connect with any parent that heard their child singing around the house over the last year and a half, and continuing to make it known that Voices Boston is a safe space for everybody. Voices Boston prides itself on truly being a family for our singers. One thing that is very evident in the concert video that they'll be seeing later is the closeness of the 8th grade singers when they graduate. A lot of them go through the program together for 8 years, and I have been very touched by the close relationships that they have formed with each other year after year, and to see the importance of those relationships and the safe community that they're able to build to be themselves. And that to us is the most important thing about Voices Boston, is providing a safe place for expression.
We've honored many Voices Boston students who after the 8th grade, um, I'm sure um, empowered by their experience with Voices Boston, continue to succeed. Uh, Thank you so much
Oh,
for spending some time with me, and all of you at home. We can talk about Voices Boston, but you're going to hear an amazing concert. It was part of it was a concert in the park at Lars Anderson. Uh, there were students who were younger students as well, but these are the older students. It's 25 minutes, and it's going to be the best 25 minutes of your day. I guarantee it. And just keep in mind while you're listening, without an organization like Voices Boston and their commitment to our young people, and also loving our young people, teaching music and loving and caring about our young people, things like this exist. So um, go to voicesboston.org, and we'll have more information and links to some of the videos that Katie was talking about on Brookline Hub as well. Um, Thanks so much for being with me today,
of
Katie.
course. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you all enjoy beautiful concert by the young singers of our Copeland and Bernstein Ensemble of Voices Boston.
Thank you. After the concert, there's going to be a quick word for about brooklinehub.com, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too, the sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all.
I'd like to invite Jackie and Jade forward, who are going to play flute and violin for the premiere of a piece that was commissioned by Voices Boston for our 30th anniversary called Meadow Musics. The three sets of poetry by Eileen Fisher, Rumi, and Joyce Kilmer all revolve around nature. Now, when I wrote it, I was thinking about Jordan Hall and how great it would be, but this is pretty fitting as well, to be singing among the trees and outside. At the time, it was inspired by young people all over the planet, but in particular Greta Thunberg, who was really giving speeches on the UN floor and really inspiring when I was asked to commission this piece, and it has aged beautifully, and I'm so thrilled to be finally premiering it. So thank you. This is the part of the concert that we get to praise and thank and hear from our 8th grade students. Many of them have been with us for years. We let the 8th graders do a send-off with a song, and this class chose Seasons of Love from Rent. So enjoy our 8th graders singing Seasons of Love. We're going to do our last 2 numbers, which is from the musical that we premiered virtually online this year by Steve Burton called Raining Cats and Dogs. So behind me, there are no more singers. There are only cats or dogs or mice. And we're going to perform our last 2 songs from that musical. I'm going to turn it over to our MC Fur.
Beautiful furs and felines from the kingdom. Welcome to the Club Kid Cat. This past year, we all worked together remotely to bring our first musical to life on Zoom, Raining Cats and Dogs. This was a new musical about acceptance, identity, friendship, and loyalty. So put your paws together for Chow Chow and the fabulous cast.
Body to the beat.
cats out there, it's time to hear you make some noise. I said make some noise. Can you do that? Good. Repeat after me. See-bop, see-bop. Yow, yow, yow. Yow, yow, yow. Gonna dance. Gonna dance. Here we go. Legs or paws don't matter. The beat comes from inside. If everyone is getting down, then there's no need to hide. Chow Chow, since you saved the kingdom, I guess you're not so bad after all. I guess you all are okay. You're silly, you're smart, you're fun, you're different, you're unique. And if you're ever looking to be someone, be yourself.
Hi, my name is Danielle Myers of ADW Video Productions and BrooklineHub.com. BrooklineHub.com is a 501c3 nonprofit online publication dedicated to community building through local reporting and events. Brookline Facing Civil Rights was produced by our founder, Harvey Bravman. The film is about the experiences of African Americans who helped break the wall of segregation that existed in Brookline before the civil rights laws were passed in the 1960s. Last year, the film sold out the Coolidge Corner Theater and included a panel discussion on inclusivity. You can stream the film and the discussion on BrooklineHub.com in exchange for a donation to the Brookline Community Foundation's Safety Net Fund. You can also stream Soul Witness, a film that features interviews with Brookline Holocaust survivors conducted 30 years ago, on soulwitness.org. For the last 11 years, Harvey has been interviewing outstanding teens as part of an event held at the Coolidge called the Brookline Youth Awards. The Brookline Youth Awards are an opportunity for Brookline residents to hear about the character, challenges, and dreams of its young people, as well as adults dedicated to their success through the power and intimacy of video interviews.